221G, I feel in some cases they need some documentation or explanation because sometimes they ask for, okay, send us this document, then we will adjudicate. But in some cases, they don't even ask for anything. They
Yeah.
simply say it's pending for administrative process, and you see a refusal in the
Yeah.
case. The case is refused. It's not refused, by the way. It's just 220G, 221G administrative processing delay. Yeah, in some cases they don't even give you any reason why it's delayed.
We are all aware that visa stamping is such a massive issue. I mean, you cannot control when Department of State will release dates so that you can book your next visa stamping appointment. But in preparation towards that visa stamping, right, there are certain steps that you can take to make sure that the application is absolutely fine. And if you can avoid 221G, nothing better than that, right? So, in today's podcast, we will talk about how to prep the right way for your DS-160, for the interview or the Dropbox, and how to ensure that you can somehow not get 221G. And if you do get 221G, what to do in that scenario? Hi there, my name is Neha Mahajan. I am the American Alien, and with me is Attorney Ishan Anand of Chug Law Firm, all the way from Virginia. And you're listening to the American Alien podcast. I feel if there's ever any intensive form there is in this world, it is DS-160. Right from the moment you were born to your living time right now, they want every information, especially for an H-1B visa holder who have to fill it every couple years or so. It is not only time consuming, it's nerve wracking.
What I feel is that people take it so lightly. They don't fill it out properly, and sometimes it's not mistake. They just leave some things blank. They just don't. So they ask for 5 years of residencies, and they don't put all 5 years. They just put whatever their current
Mhm.
location is, and so many things they leave sometimes. So whenever we help our clients to fill out the application, and when we send them the questionnaires, we get the questionnaires 70%, 60% complete.
Right,
So then we have to go back and forth, just fill out this, fill out that.
right.
That I think when somebody is filling out the application, just make sure that you fill out everything in detail and then don't miss out something. Mistakes, it depends what kind of mistake. If it's a mistake which can be, or I would say, which is not material, then
Okay.
you're fine. But sometimes mistakes can be fatal to your application if you, because sometimes USCIS may think that it's a misrepresentation, not a mistake. And if
Got it.
that's the case, then misrepresentation is lying, lying is cheating, cheating leads to a
Yeah.
crime of moral turpitude, and then that 10-year bar.
Right. So make sure whatever information you're putting in, make sure all of that is cross-checked. Cross-check every single piece of paper that you have, every single, school graduation record, college graduation record, your first job, your second job, your third job, in some case even your 10th job, because, well, we all know the reality of green card backlog. What if, while filling in the form, you fill it all right, but then realize later, oh my God, there was something that I missed completely, right? What can an applicant do in such a case? Can they go back and rectify it?
No, once you submit it, you cannot. It's just you can email them. You can provide an explanation, and you can email them. They can, put it on record that
Yeah.
what you missed. I would say it depends what piece of information you missed, because if it's major information, if basic information is miswritten or something has changed, so we need to. Sometimes what I've seen, they ask for documentation to prove that, and then they update the record also.
Okay.
So it depends. Most of the times uh, they
They're
actually,
mindful. They check your
yeah.
emails. Do they? Do they really check emails?
Yeah. We see we because we I send emails to attorney email address as an attorney, so
Right.
representative. So I get responses. Yes.
Oh, so if you do make a mistake, if an applicant makes a mistake, do you suggest that they actually reach out to an attorney and then get it fixed, or can they just approach it on their own?
Basically, I don't know if people who do it themselves. Basically, generally, I do for my clients. And when I do things, and we have a procedure that we send questionnaires and everything to our clients,
Okay.
there are very less chances that there is a mistake, but sometimes clients tell us later on that there is something that they want to change.
Mm-hmm.
So then we email them, and we get a response, and then we send documentation, and then they change it on their record. There was
Right.
a one time recently, it was not for H1, but it was for green card. The
Mm-hmm.
petitioner's name was wrong.
Oh,
So we send document, and then they change it.
okay. Okay, good. Now, what if, if a person, figures out that some of the information that they filled in was completely wrong, they haven't heard back from, the embassy, the consulate, wherever they've emailed, and their date is coming by, is it advisable for them to kind of just scratch that one DS-160, fill out another, take another, pay more fees, and then get another stamping date? Do you think that's a safer route?
So what I would recommend, just email them, and if it's not a Dropbox, if you have an interview, you can actually change things on at the time of interview with the officer.
Okay.
So if it's a Dropbox, then I would be a little bit concerned.
Okay.
If it's just interview, then not.
Mostly, like right now, it's just Dropbox appointments. Interviews aren't,
Not for everyone.
yeah,
Not
that's what
for
I'm saying.
everyone.
Not mostly it's Dropbox. Interviews aren't really happening for everybody, really. So,
Yeah.
in a Dropbox kind of a scenario, do you suggest that they absolutely, if they've made a major goof up, for example, they've probably missed out on putting out a job that they had and, in the last 5 years record, what do you suggest? Should they just scratch that off and then,
No, I would recommend reschedule it.
okay,
Reschedule so that you don't have to pay a fee.
okay,
And once you reschedule it, then you will get some time. And then with that time, just correspond with your um, uh,
okay,
officer, and then get it updated.
okay. To our point of 221 Gs, we've seen many 221 Gs being issued for Dropbox appointments, right? Do you think there's a pattern to it? Like suddenly, why is there an upsurge, firstly? And then how does one handle 221G? Because it really does not have an upper limit.
So the pattern, I don't know if there's a pattern, but what I've seen that there was an enormous pressure on them to accommodate these requests, and they were not working at their full capacity.
Yeah.
So they started taking applications, Dropbox and everything, but then they don't have capacity to adjudicate everything. So 221G, I feel they're so they have, in some cases they need some documentation or explanation, because sometimes they ask for, okay, send us this document, then we will adjudicate. But in some cases they don't even ask for anything. They
Yeah.
simply say it's pending for administrative process, and you see a refusal in the
Yeah.
case. The case is refused. It's not refused, by the way. It's just 220G, 221G administrative processing delay. But yeah, in some cases they don't even give you any reason why it's delayed.
Okay.
So yeah, it's happening a lot.
Yeah. Okay.
Even the adjudication, where it used to take 2 weeks, in
Right.
7 to 10 days, now it's taking like 3 to 4 weeks.
Some cases 5 weeks. I was
Mhm.
a lot of people actually reached out to me in preparation for today's discussion. I had requested people to send their questions to me, and a lot of people reached out to me, told me that, hey Neha, right, earlier it used to be 2 to 3 weeks. Once you've dropped your documents, and they'll get back to you in 2 to 3 weeks. Right now it's beyond 5 weeks, and think about it, these people are on H1 visas, or you don't get so much time off from work, and especially in today's scenario when H-1B layoffs is a real legit scare. I really don't know what advice to give anybody at the moment.
Basically, I had a case where the applicant had a green card pending, and meaning not the green card pending here, but he was in Pakistan.
Okay.
So what we did, it took him like 5 months. So there was no answer for 5 months. In the beginning, they asked for a job verification because he was working in an IT company and they wanted to ask about that IT company in his home country.
Yeah.
So we provided that documentation, and after that, it took like them 4 months to adjudicate. What happened? So sometimes clients are scared, but when it's over 2 months,
Yeah.
I recommend notifying them that we want to take them to court. So what I did in this case, the client was actually scared. I told him that let's move to court. Let's sue them, take them to
Right.
court.
Right.
So the client was afraid. So I told him that okay, let's do this. But basically, to start, you cannot just. I would not recommend just take them to court directly. I recommend that you notify them that we are contemplating a lawsuit.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a notice,
Okay.
and then there's a filing.
Okay.
So any mandamus lawsuit that I file, first of all, what I do, I always notify them.
Right.
I do not just file it in the court.
Okay.
I first notify the officer and the department or USCIS. I notify them that I am contemplating
Mm-hmm.
because you are not. So last time I had a green card issue where my client had a pending green card for I think 3 years. So I notified them that USCIS that I'm contemplating a lawsuit and please adjudicate the pending green card. And I received a response saying we cannot give you timeline. We are reviewing the case
Right.
and we will let you know when it is approved. That means they just rejected that. They said, okay, do whatever you want to.
Right.
So I filed the lawsuit and the green card was approved in 3 days.
There you go. Sadly, issuing a
So,
green card in Indian context doesn't work. Even if you file.
no, it doesn't matter, Indian or
No, but I
whatever.
mean, I was pointing towards the green card backlog. You can't file a lawsuit for that. I mean,
No,
we've tried.
no, there's no,
Various attorneys
yeah.
have tried, but yeah, USCIS just is like, this is what it is.
So yeah, for 221G there's this way you can actually file a lawsuit against them, but I would recommend before filing. So if you come to me, I would first notify them
Right.
that this is you are not expected to, we don't expect that you will take like 2-3 months to adjudicate,
Yeah.
because if you're traveling to India, you most likely are traveling for a month, maybe three,
Mm-hmm.
4 weeks. People go there for 3-4 weeks, not more than that,
Right.
generally.
Yeah.
Generally. So if you're taking like 2 months, then they have to extend their stay and they have to uh, tell their employers that they will come back maybe later. They are not
Yeah.
coming back right now. So there are consequences to it, right?
Okay.
So it's hardship. So
Yeah.
if you are not adjudicating, I would just notify them if I don't get response in 3-4 days or a week,
Right.
then I will take it to court.
Okay. All right. You know, in preparation for today's discussion, I had requested a lot of folks who are right now struggling with their, they've submitted their documents and they just don't know what's going on with the documentation, um, to submit some questions to me. So I have some questions, some audience questions that I would like for you to answer. This one question is, I think it's pretty basic. What is the Dropbox procedure really for someone who wants to understand what a Dropbox procedure is? Why aren't interviews happening? What is a Dropbox procedure?
Why do you want interview? So basically you have your stamping, you are living in the US, you entered with a visa. So basically they trust you and you have an extension which is approved.
Yeah.
And if it's from the same employer and you have no cancellation or revocation previously, then they are like, okay, it's all everything is in line and we don't have any suspicion.
Yeah.
So they are giving an option that you just, but you have to reach at the appointment time, right? So they give you an appointment. I don't know why there's an appointment though, because because if it's a Dropbox,
Yeah.
you just give them, okay, just
Yeah.
drop your documents whenever you
That's the
want.
literal meaning of
And
a Dropbox. Just go
yeah,
drop your
yeah,
documents and
drop.
done.
And then you just tell, and then when it's ready to pick up, you just give them a notification. But
Yeah.
in this case, if you miss your appointment time, they treat it as no show.
Yeah, I've
So,
seen
so
a lot of such cases. Sadly,
uh,
also because Ishan, a lot of people live in tier two, tier three cities in India, and for them to go to, say, Chennai, Bangalore, I'm sorry, Chennai, Hyderabad, Mumbai, Kolkata, India,
Ellie.
Delhi consulates, it is hard for them to, reach out on time. There can be flight delays, like we've seen. But I've seen cases where, if you go and submit within the business hours, within a day of missing your appointment, they kind of honor it. They also kind of understand
And yeah, they can honor anything if they
if they
want
want
to.
to.
Yeah,
If they want.
they can honor anything if they want to.
Okay. Second question is, we have four people in our family. I have two kids who are under the age of 14. Do I need to take all of them to their biometric appointment?
Biometrics appointment
Yeah, the
for
fingerprinting.
the Dropbox or
Yeah, for the
biometric.
Dropbox.
If it's a biometric, then yes.
Okay.
If it's a biometric, then yes, for sure.
Okay.
Who will give the fingerprints?
Okay. Under 14, they'll have to take, should the kids be going?
If they have like biometrics, sure.
Okay.
Why not?
Okay. Because I thought that under 14, kids don't really need to show up for an appointment.
So if you have four appointments for fingerprinting,
Okay.
otherwise they won't even give you.
Got it. Okay.
They will simply give you for parents.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I would recommend if you have four appointments. If you have four appointments for your kids and yourself, I
Yeah.
would recommend go and give your fingerprints.
Along with the kids. Okay.
I mean, yeah, it's a
Everybody.
criminal background check, but it's not like something. And if you can take your kids, sure,
Yeah.
go and get it done.
Okay. This other one is, I have appointment for Mumbai, but can I drop passports at Pune location? How do we confirm whether I can drop it off? Won't someone be waiting for me at Mumbai location?
I don't think so. I
Okay.
don't think so. Meaning, I have not seen anything like that.
Yeah.
I don't think so because the you have an option to choose your location and time.
Right.
So if you cannot go, I would recommend just then reschedule. And
Okay.
while rescheduling, you can choose which
Any
location you
other
want to.
location.
Yeah,
Okay. So basically, whatever consulate you've
I
chosen to drop your documents at, that's where you should be dropping it at. Nowhere else.
and not just same location, but also the same time.
Right. Right.
You cannot just go there and say, okay, my appointment was yesterday. I'm here today, and I want to drop off. No, I don't think
Okay.
so.
How to get appointment if 221G is issued? Can you take an appointment in case
If you
221G is issued?
if you have 221G, then what kind of appointment you are asking for?
Maybe to kind of reopen for the case, I guess, to urge them to
No, this
reopen.
no 221G is just just wait and watch.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, and if it
Yeah, so
doesn't
it's
work after 2 months, then a mandamus approach helps.
meaning if you even if month and a half,
Yeah.
month and a half, I would notify them
Yeah.
that they do it, and then if not, then I'm going, or ask something.
Right.
Meaning 221G is for you to tell me if there is something wrong in the case. I can provide documentation if you
Right.
want something. But if you are
Right.
just saying, okay, we are reviewing the case,
Okay.
what is there to review first of all?
Right. Everything is submitted. The entire history is
Yeah,
submitted. So I don't
exactly.
understand.
So
I
what
mean,
is there is yeah.
yeah. There can be situations when, people, the applicant is working not directly with the client. I mean, not directly at the client. It's not a client hire. They're working through a vendor or something, and they probably need to establish the vendor-client relationship. I think mostly it's then that they need
So
to
here's the
know.
thing. So that thing happens at USCIS stage.
Hmm.
Consulate has nothing to do with that.
But
It's
they do ask for
USCIS.
client letters, right? Even for,
They
yeah,
asking and everything is fine, but they are
yeah.
not the ones adjudicating.
Okay, okay,
Adjudication happens at USCIS stage,
okay.
and it's if it's approved because we so here's the thing. Now USCIS knows that I think 80% of the applications are third party,
Right,
right?
right,
H1Bs.
right.
It's not something new that it's not like that's something they are getting to know first time
Okay,
and they understand everything.
okay,
And I don't think if USCIS has all the documentation and after careful examination, they
right,
approved it. Now a consulate is asking, okay, provide us documentation. What unless they find out something, and
right.
if they find out something, then they must tell you that we need this.
Okay,
Not like okay, 221G, we don't know what we are doing. There's no documentation required right now. We will tell you if we come with us with a decision. Not like
right.
that.
Okay. All right. All
Because
right. I think,
most of the 221Gs are like there's no explanation.
okay. All right. That was the last question. Is there any advice to the applicants who are filling up DS-160 right now, are booking their appointments, and will be traveling very, very soon, in terms of how long should they plan their travel to be? Typically, it's 4 weeks, but looking at the timeline right now, I think they should think of extending their travel plans, right?
I would say at least a month. So not everyone is getting 221G. Most of them are getting adjudicated. It's
Okay.
not like everyone is getting 221G.
Right. But in terms of normal timelines, right now, I feel the processing times are taking anywhere between 3 to 5 weeks. So I guess when people are traveling, they should keep that in mind that, 4 weeks, okay, but they should be open to extend it to maybe 5 or even 6 weeks if it comes to it, right? So I
If they
guess that's
can,
the,
sure.
yeah, I guess that's the
But
takeaway.
not everyone can do it.
That's true. But what choice do
Yeah.
they have? What choice do people have? Because if they don't get their stamping, they can't travel back, right? So I guess they're just, it's a sad situation. It really is. I wish there was a better way. The pilot program is coming by. They first announced it. They're gonna open it up in 2023, fall of 2023, but it looks like that's gonna get backed up pretty quickly. And I wouldn't really trust the beta program so much. I think when they really do launch it in its full capacity, which I'm assuming sometime in summer of 2024, that's what the timeline looks like from the research that I've done. Attorney Ishan, thank you so much for joining me today. And if you have any more questions, I'm leaving my email ID here. Please send us your questions. We'll be happy to answer them on the discussion. Definitely, if you like the content that we discuss here, if you like our discussions, definitely subscribe and share. I will see you next time. Take care.